really beautiful. There's an attention to detail. There's shallow depth of field. Beautiful composition. This is real. This is real filmmaking. Yes. My Honkai Star Rail cinematic journey continues today with Ruan Mei trailer. And all does life flow. Honkai Star Rail. The animated shorts for Star Rail have been fantastic, so I'm really excited to see this. They've had a great attention to detail. If you've been enjoying our time together, please consider watching some of the other videos we've covered on this channel. Honkai lore masters, join me in battle.
The soft wind beckons the early spring.
Ooh,
A joyous
really
mood does it bring.
a little poetry to open here. Ooh, and it's like a spiritual palace. I really like it. Yeah, really
Plum
cool.
blossom in a mess.
Behind the
Where is the home I miss?
obscured image behind the...
remembered in drunken bliss.
Oh,
Oh, looks like it's tea time.
really beautiful. There's an attention to detail. There's shallow depth of field. Beautiful composition. This is real. This is real filmmaking. Yes.
A never-ending cycle of melody.
It's ethereal.
Core
It's
of all
beautiful.
existence is unity.
Oh, so there's some amazing shots. We have a lot to talk about. Yeah, shallow depth of field. Real intimate kind of portraiture happening here, which is beautiful to see. Oh, come on. That shot is gorgeous.
Sometimes waiting around is also a change.
I love the attention to color, too. Oh, the music is splendid. Wow, that shot was amazing, right into the eye. So I have so many questions for the lore masters, Honkai. What is
The
her
results are beyond
fighting
my
style?
expectations. Every petal in life's garden will meet a day when it is torn away
Yeah.
by the wind's call. Fret not. You still hold academic value.
Beautiful. Yeah, really unique vocal pattern or sort of vocal texture for the actor as well. Really nice job. I loved it. This is as usual jam packed with details in every single shot. So we're gonna look at it and pick it apart as we do. And I'm gonna explain a little bit of sort of the cinematic techniques that were used here. Some really special stuff. If you guys have been enjoying our time together, like I said, please make sure to subscribe if you want to see our new videos, our live streams. We recently watched the Genshin concert on live. We're going through Warcraft as well. And hop in that Discord, guys. If you want to become part of the community, we have a Hoyoverse section on Discord that is so much fun, and everybody's chatting about the games, Genshin and Honkai and everything. So it's been a lot of fun. Also, don't forget that join button if you want to choose videos for me to react to in the future. All right, guys, let's look at this. This is actually really well done. The things that stood out to me are, like I said,
Wind beckons.
kind of intimacy of the shots, really focus on portraiture and just interesting sort of images in the frame. So let's look at it.
The early spring.
Yeah.
A joyous mood does it bring.
Great poetry here in the beginning. I love this kind of spiritual palace that we get here. And there's like DNA strands. This must be something to do with her powers. You guys can fill me in. Lore Masters, really beautiful imagery. And I love how we're going through this. It reminds me of like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This kind of endless hallway that just keeps going on and on and on and like moving crooked. And so it's cool. It's eerie. And it's the same idea I talked about yesterday in yesterday's video, the idea of liminal spaces. It's an eerie feeling. A liminal space is a space between something, a space between an idea, and we're seeing that explored here. It brings a sense of uneasiness because you're really nowhere. You're in a hallway. Where are we going to?
Chilly wake.
And we're in an endless hallway going to nowhere and stuff. It's quite strange feeling, maybe a serene feeling in this case, because the setting is welcoming, the music is welcoming, but it could also be a very disturbing feeling. Yeah, so it's a fascinating idea.
The plum blossom in a mess.
Love it.
Where is
So
the
this is when we start to get into these beautiful portrait shots. I love this. Kind of, it's almost like, you don't have access to her. You get to hear her music, you get to hear her philosophy and her poetry, but you don't have access to her. That makes me think about her character and brings up questions for me and curiosities about her character. What's her deal? Is she someone that is, a little bit closed off to people? Is she someone that's a little bit private? Is she someone that is a spiritual figure who people don't get access to her culturally, which also seems likely, but I love it.
plum blossom in a mess.
Yeah, these shots start to get really cool. I love the slight sort of obscurity of these shots. Focusing on details, like for example, we're focusing on the instrument here and her skill with the instrument. But like I said, you're still closed off. You don't see her eyes. Just the eyes are cut off. And it raises questions for me about her character. Very curious. I love that the instrument has like, it seems to have a blossom on it itself, like a piece of a tree. I love that.
Where is the home I miss?
Where is the home I miss? And here we're getting a little look into character here, guys. I mean, look at this. This is this big creature, and she's kind of with it. This reminds me very much of Shen-He from Genshin Impact, and she is. It seems to be almost a similar idea. Let me know if I'm right on that. Maybe she was raised by a different entity, which it was the cloud retainer for Shen-He, right?
Only remembered.
Yeah, great shots. And I actually like here. You see this? You see this little detail? It's that little tiniest bit of actually kind of like rack focus happening here, in the sense that it feels like the camera operator would be.
Only remembered.
You see that? There's this little. I mean, it's quite subtle. But look, so we actually lose focus here for a second. But it brings a very organic feel to it. I actually quite like that, especially in something where it's digital. We know.
Remembered.
We know that they're not losing focus with the camera. This was intentional, which gives it, again, a sort of serene, dreamlike feel, dreamscape feel. I quite like that as well. And then again, we still have this shadow. It's all happening very quickly. She's speaking with some entity. She's maybe receiving some boon. Very cool. Let me know, lore masters, what's going on here. Love it. And you see the shadow of her cast upon this panel, almost like her story.
Oh.
Now that was a great transition. And when I say transition, not only the shot, this is a transition to a separate art style. The art style of this sort of live 2D animation. Look at this. So they actually transition very cleverly here as she plucks the strings. And I love, by the way, how the strings glow. That is so clever. That's so cool. Look at this. We pluck the string, her hand, and there's this beautiful effect. Look at this clever editing. There's this kind of like vignette blurring that goes on, a bit of a Gaussian, and then we come out here. Seamless transition.
Looks like it's tea time.
Very natural. And it says Ruan Mei, Genius Society number 81. What's going on? Fill me in. Genius Society. Love this shot. The lighting here is the key. Look at this. This almost looks like a painting, and I'm not sure if this is. I don't know if this is in-engine or not, but this is very standout from the typical in-engine stuff. Look at this kind of reflected, bright light, and then of course, there's a gradient throughout the image. That is very rare. But not only that, you can see the lighting on the subject, on her leg. Like that is very rare for this, and of course, we have the awesome reflection and the sort of play that happens with the ripples on the water surface. And then we go to that out of focus again. Awesome transition work here. Look at this. We lose focus again. This becomes kind of the visual theme of the edit. The rhythm of the edit. Her hand comes back in. Of course, to play the strings. It's like a reverse as before. Before she kind of came out to the frame, and now she comes back in. Feels very Gong Fu as well, which I love. And there it is again. This beautiful visual identity. Look at this. Oh, it's clean. This is some of the best shots I've seen in from Hoyoverse. Look at this. I just want to take you through it in slow motion because it's really gorgeously done. I mean, this is a shot that you don't typically get in these trailers, these sort of close-ups. I don't know if it's because the texture work is a little bit blurry at this distance for Genshin, but you don't typically get it. I mean, look at this. This is what I always talk about when you talk about filmmaking. To motivate camera movement with some sort of subject, some sort of motivation, moving with the camera. It's high level stuff. It's high level stuff. This is the sort of stuff I love to do. Gorgeous. And then again, there's that rack focus. But what it does is it gives a dreamlike, serene feel. Look at that. And then we find focus again. But in this case, we go from the pedal. I mean, this is high level stuff. We go from the pedal to her as well. And there's this DNA. So what's the deal with the DNA? That I don't know. I feel like out of context. Another beautiful shot. I mean, guys, This is different. This is different. And it really comes down to the lighting as well. A lot of times in Genshin, in engine, they seem to improve this on Fontaine. They've improved the lighting, which is really amazing. But in some of the earlier stuff, it's a bit washed out at times. Now this is high level. We have highlights on the subject. We have rim lighting coming through. You seeing this? And we have the petals. We have sort of like interesting things happening within the frame. We have the reflection, the gradient I talked about before, diffused lighting. It's just
Will always wither.
literally every shot is like just painstakingly composed.
Will always
Look at this.
wither.
Beautiful rotation around the subject. But we keep her on the upper third here. We keep, good compositional rules happening here. And that's what's impressive to me is they're following the rules. This mimics the first shot through the hallway.
A never-ending cycle of melodies.
Cycle of melodies. I love that.
Core of all existence
Yeah.
is unity.
Really nice there too. And then we have these colors, like so the DNA colors they've established at play here. But notice how they do actually interact with the subject. She is reflecting blue. These guys, not sure, is this people that she summons to fight maybe? Kind of like Genshin with I forgot her name. It's the woman who's like a cook who summons like a teddy bear. Now this shot is beautiful. Let's talk about it. It's just gorgeous. Again, the ability to have this rim lighting, as we call it, kind of carving out the subject in space, it takes this shot from just like a cool image to a really kind of tangible composed image you could see in a film, and it makes it feel more filmic because of the lighting. It all comes down to lighting, and you can see it here at that higher level. Just takes it to a whole different universe of image. It's the same with this. So well done. And we have that, see the lighting cutting off from the fireworks behind her. But I think it's so interesting because it is lit correctly. It's not just kind of like there's a lot of games that don't have the technology to do that, and that's what's making the biggest difference here. Beautiful shot, reminiscent of like almost Final Fantasy 7 or 13 with those classic firework scenes. Now this is where stuff gets turned. This brings me back to the more of the feeling of the DNA. We go from like a kind of beautiful traditional spiritual imagery to we're in outer space, we're in a lab. What's going on here? And then there's these creatures attacking. The standout also is the music. Beautiful work. Yeah. It's interesting because this whole section sort of has a new visual identity, like this creature, the attack.
Oh?
What I like about it is she's using her instrument to almost like tame this creature, it seems
The
like.
results are beyond my expectations.
Like, that's what's interesting to me. There's all this crazy stuff happening. It looks like it's going to be a classic Genshin beatdown section. And then she's just like calmly playing her instrument. And then she's like, oh, you did better than I expected. What?
Every petal in life's garden.
There's that visual identity again of her kind of walking on a reflective surface. Interesting.
We'll meet a day when it is torn away by the wind's call. Fret not. You still hold academic value.
Really unique. I really like this one. It's incredibly different than the usual kind of like I said, beatdown section, this and that. I mean, we have focused just on beautiful composition throughout this whole thing and kind of like a, peacefulness.
My expectations.
Very interesting. That's a cool shot too. Yeah, really nice silhouette. Obviously the leading lines of the composition bringing us to this silhouette to be the standout with the greatest contrast here. Right in the center to draw our eye. Ooh, clean.
Every petal in life's garden will meet a day when it is torn away
Just listening
by
to
the
it.
wind's call. Fret not.
And there it is. The petals go away. So we have sort of like a visual representation of what she's saying. Very well done.
You still hold academic value.
And she's a scholar. We learned from this too. So yeah, I have a lot of questions for the lore masters, but the basics of it are sort of,
Academic value.
are sort of that for me. Like, what's the DNA strand? What's her power? What's her fighting style? Is she a fighter? Maybe she's not. Is she a healer? There's a lot of interesting things happening here, but I love this one. I think my favorite shot, if I had to choose one, is probably one of these. It's probably this one. Yeah, it's probably this one or the earlier. It's so quick. It's incredibly quick. Or even this one. This is like an incredibly rare shot to get in a thing like this, mostly because this is a tripod shot, and it's just like perfect composition and everything. You don't typically get these in Genshin stuff either. It's usually kind of like more sweeping stuff, which I love. Like I said, I love the camera movement motivation, but this is just kind of a classic, boom, composition. So I would say this, or what was it? That one's great too. It's just so like it's so lit well.
Without accelerating or postponing.
That one was also great though. I love the kind of almost martial in nature.
Life will always wither.
Yeah, and the music.
Never-ending cycle of melodies. The core.
So many questions. So many questions. Look at the digitized DNA. Wow, on that one frame. Fascinating.
Of all existence.
That's a great shot too. That's kind of the only other hint we get, and see, there's like kind of some chemist data here. It's one of the only shots that we get a hint at her scholarly background, besides the musicality of everything. Very cool. But I love this one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hop in the Discord, chat with the Hoyoverse section, and like I said, if you want to click that join button, go to the Dragoon tier, and you can recommend and choose videos for me to react to live on stream. So I'll see you guys around town. Thank you, as always, to the Star Rail fans for making this great. See ya.